morning. Namaste. My name's Eric. I'm here to say welcome to Talking with Famous People. We've got an amazing show prepared for you today. I think you're going to be amazed by it. If you're not amazed, well, then you at least be amazed. Is this man really a fitness guru? No, I'm not. I'm not really a fitness guru. I'm not any kind of fitness guru at all. But if you want fitness advice, I could give you some. Keep reaching for the stars. Keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars, okay? That's my fitness guru advice. First, we're going to do some squats. Then we're going to do some push-ups. Then we're going to do some more squats. That's what's on the agenda this morning. Hi, Ladarian Perkins. Perkins. Ladarian. Ladarian sounds kind of like a galactic council name, you know? Ladarian of the, like, Perseon 9 people. Ladarian, ambassador of the Perseon 9 people, you know? Like, it sounds like a galactic council name. I like it. Caroline, good morning to you. It is wonderful to see you here today. I am having my first fitness hit of the day. Instead of calling this a health tube, I think I'm going to call these fitness hits from now on. My Marlboros can be health tubes. These can be fitness hits. Hi, Mr. Nah777. Are you here for some fitness tips? I've got one for you. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching to the stars. Well, my INFJ, Caroline's also an INFJ, but my INFJ is still asleep. And I gotta say, Caroline, I'm impressed. You get up a lot earlier than Rachel does. Oh no, Mr. Nah, 777. Absolutely not. You may not sub to me. What do you think of who opened a YouTube channel and swear or blasphemy is saying that they can do it because it's their own channel, it's a public channel, shouldn't they have some civilization? I mean, civilization respects individuals' right to express themselves in basically whatever fashion they wish. YouTube does a good job, I think, of policing stuff that has no value whatsoever. But certainly, what you consider blasphemy does not count as anything bad. You know, swearing is fine. So it's a fucking great idea for me to swear if I feel like it. And it's fucking fine for me to say, God sucks ass and blaspheme. Those things are perfectly fine. Those are legitimate forms of freedom of consciousness and protected speech. The future is now, old man. Is it? Did I finally get there? I've been waiting for the future for such a long time. KS says, keep pushing. All right, I will. I'm not really pushing anything, so it's hard for me to maintain pushing something. Surviving Filmo Africa. Is Filmo Africa a dangerous place? You need gas? Hit me up. I mean, dollar gas? Is that what you're talking about? If I need dollar gas? I don't need any dollar gas. I'm going to get my dollar gas today at the pharmacy, probably. Not today, tomorrow. Since February was a 29-day month, it's possible I won't get it till tomorrow. Daddy, give me advice. Okay. Always double check after you've eaten with a napkin that you don't have any food around your lips. I don't punch cones. I smoke weed. I don't know what punching cones is. Okay? I'm assuming cones are those kind of papers that get larger, you know? I don't use those. I don't use those kind of papers. I only use zigzags. And also, I mostly just smoke bong rips. So I don't push any cones. My lungs are giving up on me? Well, I am getting over COVID right now. I still have quite a bit of phlegm in me. You know, my friend Cameron came up last week and he was ended up having COVID and he gave it to both me and Rachel. Whatever, it's basically just a cold. Hadi Ibrahimi, you really should ask questions and check before you think you know things, you know? Then next time you won't look so foolish, you know? There's some good advice for you. Ask questions first, then maybe you will know things before you make wild random claims that you don't know anything about, you know? That way you won't sound so dumb next time. You need a sponge cake recipe? Okay, I got one for you. Take a regular cake and punch a bunch of holes in it. Show media, good morning to you. Pink hand squirt from me to you as well. Apple vinegar is good for you? Well, I'm not having any apple vinegar. Remember, I'm the fitness guru around here. Hadi Ibrahimi. I am. I'm the fitness guru. I'm giving you words of wisdom you can live by. Tajaminichi Dutch, how you doing? Tajaminichi Dutch. Rachel's behind me in the progress of the cold, so she's a little more sick than me. You know, she got it a day or two, a couple days later. I'm more or less over it, but you can still hear it in my, you know, I'm still congested and stuff. It's just, I'm just, you know, ridding myself of the residuals. Hi, hell, hello. Hi, hell, hello to you as well. Tajaminichi. Tajam Nicey. Tajam Nicey? I mean, if you have something you feel like mailing it to me, I'll definitely smoke it. No doubt about that. I do have Jack Herrera seeds coming. I'm looking forward to growing. Because there ain't no weed as good as freshly picked homegrown weed. It's just, you know, weed has so much to do with where in its process it is. Like, if it's just the right amount of time from after being picked, then it's perfect. But you kind of have to have, you have to grow it yourself to get it like that, you know? It's got to be just dried. Then it's perfect. Oh, I mean, Caroline, you just need to purchase the premium service for Crunchyroll because if I could only have one streaming service that I had premium on, I am pretty sure I would choose it over even YouTube because while I wouldn't I wouldn't want to sacrifice anything that impacted my creator experience on YouTube as a media consumer, then by far the most important site to me is Crunchyroll. That has the most good new media coming out of anywhere on the planet. It's the one streaming service you must have. We dodged the virus with the apple vinegar vapor, and I ran a little opium on it. Wow. All right, I'm agreeing with you, Hadi Abrahimi, that probably the best solution to COVID would be just some sort of holistic natural remedy like that, because certainly it would have been a better solution than all the nonsense America did. But all right, I'll keep that in mind. So you just drink apple cider vinegar or what? Seems kind of vinegary. Hair lamb, there's zero possibility of me doing 100 push ups. Even if my life were on the line, I couldn't do 100 push ups, and it would take me a full day to do 100 push ups. Oh, in the nose, you snort it? You just snort vinegar? Or you just smell it? Oh, you just smell it. Okay. Oh, well, I'm not unwilling to give that a try, Hattie Abrahimi. I also think it's hilarious that McDonald's came out with a McDonald's sauce. What's a McDonald's sauce? I've never heard of that. I know life's fantastic these days. This is actually the really the best time of my life. I I I'm only 52, so and I'm somebody who I'm a slow maturing type of person, right? I'm a philosopher by nature. I was before I titled it this, which is the kind of title that seems to, at least lately, it seems to be how useful of a title, like gets people in here or whatever. This kind of title. Um, my title was going to be something about questions and answers because what I was thinking about in bed before I got up and just said, okay, I guess I'm not going back to sleep, and I started live streaming was about how a couple of very smart people, Horse Mumbler and Money, um, how can it be that they are on the wrong side of the evolution question despite engaging with it enough to know better? And the answer I was coming up with was basically there's one thing that people fail to do consistently, almost everybody, which is when they're asking a question, they don't first ask, what kind of question is this? And what kind of answer comprises an answer to it? So, what we have in life all the time is a lot of people answering the question, what time is it? With the answer brown. And in the evolution question, it's like, what is evolution supposed to be doing? In other words, if evolution were an answer to a question, what kind of question is it answering? The question it's answering is, what explains the fossil record in speciation? What's the mechanism that explains it? That's the question it's purporting to answer. So, and additionally, it's purporting to have already answered it. So the answer needs to look like this, right? It needs to look like this. Mechanism X of evolution necessitates predicted outcomes Y in context Z. And context Z is one that allows us to generate the predicted outcomes by doing yeah. That's what the answer needs to sound like, right? Because I understand what kind of question it is and what kind of answer is not a category error. So that's what I was thinking about in bed before I got up and started this stream, right? Because I'm more meaningfully and interestingly engaged in both the world and my own intellectual work regarding it than I have ever been before. I'm also more empowered than I've ever been before and more free than I've ever been before. I have the same amount of liberty, if maybe a little bit more, but I am way more free, way more empowered, and I'm also capable of doing what I want to be doing finally, intellectually. I've done the pre work enough that I'm actually here in the uncharted territory of having the answers for everything. Which really means understanding how people ask and answer questions. Yeah, hurrah for liberty indeed. But, you know, as an American, I don't lack for liberty, but plenty of Americans lack for freedom. If you define freedom as empowered liberty, in other words, you've got sufficient money and prosperity and disposable income, whatever, that you can make good use of your liberty. If time didn't exist, people might act different. They just exist. If time didn't exist, people would just be like this. All frozen in one spot forever. So, it's like something like that can be solved with a simple rule of thumb. Ask yourself first, what am I doing here intellectually? What kind of question is being asked? What kind of question is being answered? What kind of answer is appropriate to the question being asked and why? So it's like we could discuss evolution forever, but it's always going to be pointless if we don't define those frames right first, you know? There's always an order to questions. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but um, sometimes it does. And ultimately, the first order questions, if you don't answer them, everything you're doing is pointless. You have to go back because you didn't put piece C in step 3. You have to undo everything from Z back to C and redo all that work. It's unavoidable. But of course, people don't necessarily think they're doing any kind of work when they're talking, right? They see words as, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it, really, to be honest. Like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine using words in that sort of fog of ignorance, which is to say, they're not practiced in being a philosopher, right? Which is to say, they may think about a lot of those kind of things, but they aren't practiced in the rigorous case building of a debate coach, nor in the rigorous analysis of what comprises different levels of argumentation, framework, case, meta framework. It's like questions of God's existence are the same sort of thing, right? It's people aren't actually arguing about anything. They're saying they're trying to answer. You got two people trying to answer the question, "What time is it?" One of them is saying brown, the other's saying green, and they're arguing back and forth about the respective value of their answers. Like, no, it's brown. No, it's green. It's actually 8:15. you know, um, since every experience all of humanity has ever had of God that we can be determinate about has always been a faith behavior. To define God as anything other than predicated upon a faith behavior, in other words, to pretend that we could prove God's existence is like saying we could prove that it really is brown o'clock. It's a category error, right? It's a simple solution to a question people have been arguing about for millennia. maybe. But but people don't want that because they think, I guess, like, well, that can't be the answer. Because they're still stuck on the idea that, but the time has to be some color, right? No, it's not any color. But everything's some color. No, time, that what time it is isn't any color. It's something else. It's another kind of thing. Same thing with God, right? Like, um, proving God is impossible because God isn't that kind of thing. Good morning, Blue Elvis Draw. I'm I got onto a topic of how I'm experiencing life right now. Do I feel like I'm too old for things or whatever? Um, I guess in the absence of youth, I find life less joyful and or joyless or whatever. The answer is absolutely not. I've never been happier. I've never been happier. I've never been more correct. And I've never understood things nearly this well. Never understood the world nearly as well. Also, what's happening right now with the YouTube channel, the fact that I already have over 11,300 subscribers, when it seems like I just passed 10,000, right? Um, is unbelievable. It's it's amazing. But even if that trickles off, stuff's happening or whatever, I got a lot of interesting stuff going on, and nothing much going on, which is perfect for me. You know, like, I got the right amount of responsibility. This morning, because it didn't work out yesterday, I have to go back to the septic, to the other house and meet with the septic tank people. Hopefully they show up today. Because he already told me, like, it's kind of slightly tentative maybe for this morning too. So, I don't know. Well, thanks. I like this shirt because it's comfortable. Just woke up my son to take my brother's dog to poop. Well, he stayed up late and is acting not tired. Meow, 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 sick still. I may have another one this morning. Certainly possible. Good morning, good time. You are Good Times, Good Time Band. So, I'm not a fitness guru, but I can pretend to be one sometimes if you want. Keep in mind that whatever my fitness advice is should be ignored because I don't know anything about fitness. Nevertheless, I'm willing to give fitness advice if people want me to. Like, eat a lot of celery. How's that for some fitness advice? You should eat a lot of celery. You should go jogging. There. There's some fitness advice for you. When you're jogging, don't fall down. I tell you guys, since I started retaining my semen, I have just so much energy, verve. Retain your semen. Do not retain your semen. That's such a stupid idea. I don't know who came up with that nonsense. You should not retain your pee, your poo, or your semen. Seriously, well, what moron came up with this notion? What just an insanely bad idea. It's not good for your prostate to retain your semen. That's ridiculous. It has nothing to do with your energy levels at all. I have sex regularly with Rachel. It is true that right after sex, I have this rush of, I guess, probably oxytocin that makes me more likely to take a nap right after sex than in other times, you know. But, I always feel a lot better after sex. Like, got that stuff out of me. I don't feel less energetic. I feel like, good, I can get my attention back to normal things and not think about sex. So, yeah, it's a dumbass idea. Ahura! Good morning. Ahura! Hello. Um, 6 o'clock. Yeah, your friend is saying yucky stuff with all this. But most importantly, he's saying wrong stuff. There is no such relationship between, evacuating your semen and lack of energy, nor retaining your semen and production of energy. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying you should ejaculate more either. I'm just saying the idea of trying to retain your semen on purpose because of some ridiculous placebo effect that you bought into is not a good idea, and it's bad for your prostate. All right, let's start with some exercises, everybody. It's fitness guru time. It's called the nostril eyebrow double flare. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and stop. All right, breathe in. Here we go. Everybody's nose and eyebrows should feel a lot looser now, a lot more revved up for the day. Okay, here I am. Well, you don't have to watch porn to evacuate your semen. I'm married. Almost every time I evacuate my semen, I do so with my wife, right? So if retaining semen is good, then I should not fuck my wife. My point is about retaining semen, not about how you get rid of it. My point is it's bad to intentionally retain your semen. Not that it's good to be a porn addict. I can say nocturnal emissions. That community is mostly ex-porn addicts, though. Okay, well then, but if they think being a porn addict is bad, let's say it is, um, then they should say that it's bad to be a porn addict or whatever. Not that it's good to retain semen. That doesn't generalize at all, right? They state their statements as though they generalize, but in fact, it's bad for you. It's bad for your prostate to intentionally retain semen. So they should not present that as a general rule. Instead, they should present the following: retention of semen, though bad, is preferable to this worse alternative. Right? Not that it has benefits that it doesn't have. So, and this is another example of what I was saying earlier. The challenge in life that the world faces is, and this, if people didn't have this problem, we would have a pretty much utopia world, right? The the problem the world faces is that people don't first ask themselves, what kind of question is this? What kind of answer qualifies as an answer to this question? And why am I asking it? So it's like on the semen retention thing. The question I'm asking is, does 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 retaining one's semen generalize as good advice? And the answer to that is no. The full answer to that is no, because we can find examples of individuals for whom it's definitely not a good idea. So, for example, me, married, almost all of my loads don't go into my wife, but at least onto her, right? Um, so, if in fact that generalizes, you'd be telling me that I have no idea, Blue Elvis, why that would be the case. Is your penis very cold? Maybe they have brain freeze. If your penis is very cold and consistently pushing on the roof of their mouth, then you'll likely be giving them brain freeze. Oh, well, I have no idea because I think that's gross. So I don't ejaculate there. I just think that's really gross. Like, there are plenty of times where I'm like, yeah, I took a couple last night. In fact, I think I'll take a couple more now. I actually find they help with my neuropathy, my nitrous-induced neuropathy. Uh, what is wild as shite is literally, I just got here, never seen you before 1 minute, and this was my first video today. Enough internet today, folks. Haha. Okay, San Diego. That's interesting. The ones that you have too much alkaline in your jizz. Goodbye, Uhura. I know you're bold had. Okay. They said they didn't show up. I called them after they were like 15 minutes late, and then they said we have to come back tomorrow. You know, let's come tomorrow or something. Well, then they called me back later, and then he's coming today at 10. He says. So basically, I got nothing accomplished yesterday, but that's okay. Also, I'm expecting it to be, I think I mentioned all this stuff yesterday about how I think they're gonna give me a more expensive estimate than the estimate that the previous owner got, right? But my thoughts on that are, since that company that gave that estimate like doesn't call me back or anything, I think maybe that guy got them to lowball that estimate. Now they don't want to do the work. What a silly goose. Who's they? Oh, the septic tank people? I don't think so. If hydrangeas have too much alkaline in their soil, they produce pink fowlers. Hmm. I think Uhura is a girl's name because Uhura on Star Trek was a girl. Are you actually a guy? I've got three front teeth, some over here, one over here, a fair number of bottom teeth, but not enough to make eating easy for lots of different foods. It's a little frustrating, but it's just not my top priority of things to get fixed right now. Because when I do get it fixed, I want to get implants. I don't want to mess around with dentures, right? So it's going to be kind of expensive. If I were to try to replace my whole mouth with implants, it would just be really prohibitively expensive. So, and I've got other expensive things to do coming up. You know, I could replace gold teeth. That'd be pretty pimping. Just get all gold teeth for all missing teeth. I don't think I want to be that pimping though. It's an invitation for somebody to come rob your mouth. Alexandre Ebralids. Hello. Geppy. I don't know what that symbol means, but hello. Zach Idkagain says, "What's up, dude? I'm giving health and fitness tips, bro. That's what's up. I'm giving health and fitness tips. Heavy smokers are not cool, but you were an exception. Hmm. Well, I guess I'll take it." The name Ahura is a boy's name, derived from the name of an ancient Iranian god. Oh. In Star Trek, it was supposedly like an African tribal name. So I'm not sure it was spelled the same though. It might have been spelled differently. I think most people from America that you talk to are gonna say a girl's name because of Star Trek, And if you were to ask them like, what kind of name is it, they would say African because of Star Trek as well. So thanks for the interesting factoid. Oh, this congestion from that COVID. It's a little persistent. At least it's a productive cough. That counts for something. So I'll go back to the house today to meet the septic guy. But I additionally am going to need to go to town and get some stuff from the hardware store. When I went to the house yesterday, the um, Cal Fire had been by and had put up a thing saying you have to put up a reflective sign that can be seen from the street for emergency vehicles. And this gave me some specs on this piece of paper to what kind of sign it has to be and stuff. So obviously I have to go to town now and get that sign and put it up, or I'm gonna get in trouble with the firemen. So okay, fine. I'll go get a reflective sign. Let's see, what's the best advice for a teenager? Uh, don't make any big life-changing decisions. Put off big decisions until preserve those for your older self. Try to remember I'm going to be my older self someday, very soon, and I want to be empowered and have choices then. Also, be kind. People's feelings now evolve into memories later. And painful memories are painful. Nothing's more painful than memories where you hurt people. To me, anyway, those are the memories that hurt the most. The ones that include guilt. Okay. Well, I've had a health tube. That should improve my cardiovascular functioning a little bit. Okay. And now we have to watch the cat eat. I know you might be saying to yourself, Eric, I don't want to watch a cat eat. I don't blame you. But unfortunately, this cat has enslaved me. And I am compelled to watch Massa eat. Yes, I am. Oh, yes. Oh, I see what the problem is. You only have a few crumbs of food left on your plate, huh? Here you go. There you go. There's some fresh, delicious food. Oh, yes. You see his question mark tail? Rachel saw a YouTube video that said that when a cat has a question mark tail, it means they're happy. Oh, yes. What a happy kitty. Yes. Daddy knows. Daddy loves. Okay. Capio, in or out, sweetie? It's cold. There's kitty number 2. She's actually kitty number 1. This is kitty number 2. I've had Capio since birth. She was born in bed right next to me. I mean, I've had Capio since her birth, obviously. Not since my birth. That would make her a very old cat. Okay. In or out? It is cold. Okay, you're staying in. If you meow at me to let you out again. She comes over, she looks at the door expectantly. Open it, then she just stands there and kind of sniffs. Oh yes, Mr. Kitty Man. What a good friend. What an important triumph of nature. What a noble beast. You are a noble beast. Of great renown. Yes, you are. Oh yes. Oh yes. What a big eater. This cat needs a lot of words of affirmation. The love language she likes to receive is words of affirmation and immediate obedience. I mean, right. If I left the room, he would stop. He would stop eating shortly thereafter, and then I'd get more meows in a few minutes to come finish watching the meat. So it's just like, give up on it, Eric. You know. Okay, now you're smoking rocks. No, I'm not smoking any rocks. Cats are so cute and fat. Better pets than dogs. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. Depends what, um, it depends on what you're looking for in your pet. You know, I had a wonderful dog that was the best pet I will ever have, you know. So yeah, as far as my time in Vietnam, it was about 3 weeks after my birth. It was shortly after I jumped over the Grand Canyon on a horse that I enlisted because I was a patriot, you know, went to war in Vietnam. The year was 1971. I guess the war was probably just winding down. Hmm. Well, I have to tell you and that other guy, you cannot smoke rocks, okay? There's a lot of things you can smoke. Rocks are not among them. Just FYI. Uh, anyway, I led my platoon into battle against the Viet Cong. I had, you know, army green diapers, and I lost half my squad that day, but I did earn a Bronze Star Congressional Medal of Honor. Well, the only living person, I think, to receive that, maybe. I think they usually give it just to dead people, but anyway, I got it. And then I got multiple Purple Hearts, of course, and the Nobel Prize. So that was my experience in Vietnam. Moon rocks is the only rock you will smoke. I'm just talking about my experience in the Vietnam War, Winston Spoon. I still believe I'm on the record books as the youngest uh, corporal in the Army's history. I finished as a corporal. Your grandpa had a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. Yeah, wow, that's that's very incredible. That's unbelievable. That's great. But my dad served in the military. He didn't get any awards or anything. Oh, I see. I also played a pivotal role in the Iran Contra affair as a teenager. I was the guy who brokered the deal. I was also responsible for bringing down the Berlin Wall and for the invention of the hot air balloon. So I got a lot going on. Okay. I got a lot of accolades. So do they award the Congressional Medal of Honor only posthumously? Ain't no way. What? You're doubting that stuff? I mean, maybe you should check out my Facebook page. I also invented French. I discovered the moon. I invented the high five. A lot of things. If you see my Facebook Live events, yeah, I know. I know. I launched the civil rights movement. Um, I don't remember all my life events, but these things, most of these things I've said here, not the stuff about the Vietnam War or the hot air balloon, but the other stuff I've said, it must be true because they're in my Facebook life events. Only 18.5% of Congressional Medal of Honors have been awarded posthumously. Huh. A lot of people make that mistake, Born Star 481. But what I'm saying is, I was on that bus and I was the one who told Rosa Parks, I'm like, fuck that shit, sit wherever you want. And she listened to me, and that launched the civil rights movement. You didn't get an alert? Instaban. After the war, he studied Kung Fu in Shaolin. You talking about me? Okay. Bruce Lee and I agreed that that would be the official story, but it's been so long now, I'll tell you the truth. I whipped his ass. I whipped his ass. He was crying. I mean, he was literally crying. But we agreed because, he had his whole career up in that, related to that whole fighting thing. So we agreed that I would just not mention it. He'd say he fell down. That's where he got those bruises, etc. My tiny fists were far more furious than anything Bruce Lee could bring. Boba does not need a wrench. Blue Elvis. He also doesn't need a lawyer, namely you advocating on his behalf to be a moderator. No, I wasn't the one who came up with the D-Day invasion plan. I was the one who fixed it. The original plan said, let's have all the soldiers just go in right at the bottom tip of Italy and make their way up. I said, this is dumb. This plan is dumb. We need to send some of the soldiers, at least, to France. And after I lobbied for a bit, this was pre-fetus for me, of course, Back then, I only existed conceptually, so I had to manifest a lot of psychic energy to get my point across. No money, I had nothing to do with that, okay? I had absolutely nothing to do with that. No, I would never train with Steven Seagal. Yeah, I'm the guy who actually, to be honest, I'm Chuck Norris's sensei. He learned, um, he learned from me, and that's how he became Chuck Norris. Before he trained with me, he was Charlie Norris. Okay. What do I think of Stalin? I think Stalin's terrible. Obviously, Stalin was a horrible despot. And I've said many times at the end of World War II, we should have just gone into the Soviet Union and taken their asses out too. But just like that's what Churchill was advocating, and I agree with him. But you know, I have some problems with the way the U.S. executed the end of World War II. Another one of the problems I have is that why did we nuke Nagasaki and Hiroshima? We should have nuked Tokyo and killed the leadership. They're the ones who most deserve to die. Yes, I have been in a full on physical fight as an adult. I was sitting in my car in front of my friends. I just pulled up, but I was just like finishing listening to a song or whatever. And this guy who I knew, like, came out of the house where I was going to and walked up to like the window of my car. I'm like, hey, Steve. And he sucker punched me. The window was open, right? It was down all the way. So he sucker punched me right there and punched me multiple times while in the car. And I'm trying to get out of the car. Uh, and I did eventually get out of the car. At that point, I'd already taken a lot of blows. And I was standing up and he knocked me out. I came to lying in the street looking up at the sky. um, And then I stood up and I saw he was back in the house. I ran into the house, tackled him, like his head made a hole in the drywall of these people's house. And we wrestled around a bit, and he finally got up and got away from me and then went and locked himself in his girlfriend's car. The reason he had done all this is because I had been hanging out with his girlfriend, but I was just doing drugs with her. you know, I wasn't humping her or anything. I had no intention of doing that at all. Well, that's why. He thought I was humping her, I think. I eventually did hump her, but um, that was a lot later. Like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months later or something. No, I never had any intention of fucking that girl. She was a drug connect. She was a drug connect and like a druggie. So she's like, if you buy drugs, then I can get them. You buy them, I'll do some of them. I did eventually hump that girl. I did not create the CIA. That wasn't my intention at all, Ivar. They were broken up at that point. Well, that's not how they should have chosen targets. They should have chosen it who most deserves to die. And that was the leadership, not the regular citizens. The fact that Hirohito got to continue on as emperor after that war is completely fucking bullshit. We should have stripped him naked and dragged him down the streets of Tokyo and hung him by the neck till dead, hanged him by the neck till dead. You know? Okay, well, I don't, I didn't do it for that reason. And had I done it for that reason at all, I would feel terrible about it. That's not a good thing to do. He was kind of a puppet leader because he was mental. Stalin? Well, regardless, you know, the mass sending of peoples to gulags is not healthy for children and animals. The military controlled Japan in World War II. I mean, not Hirohito. Okay, well, fine. But still, all of the war was fought in his name. And I'm sure the military leadership was in Tokyo too. I don't know what. It's like, I don't know. I was single at the time and she was single at the time. And I just figured I don't normally have like casual sex or whatever. But to be honest, it's like the only time I ever remember enjoying casual sex. It was that girl, which was, I mean, just harmful, I think like once or twice, you know. But yeah, maybe she was kind of trashy or whatever. But maybe that's why it seemed like it was kind of fun, you know. Oh, I'm not saying we shouldn't have used nukes. I'm saying no money. That's gross. Ew. Stop. Um, I'm saying we should have nuked Tokyo instead of those other places. That's my argument. Not that we shouldn't have nuked Japan, but we should have nuked Tokyo instead. Yeah, it's pretty chilly right now. But it makes a big difference here under the covered walkway. If I were to stand out here, well, actually, it's not that much colder out here. Yeah, it's fairly colder. The covered walkway makes it a lot more comfortable. Surprising how much of a difference it makes because you think like, well, the cold air is right there. It could just come right here. It's not like there's a wall or anything, but just having this cover over you makes it a good 5 degrees warmer, maybe, maybe even a little more than that. But yeah, it's pretty chilly. I probably just have a couple hits out of cigarette and go in. I fortunately believe I have. Yeah, feel it coming. Uh huh. I'm shaking it loose. I got a poop in my butt. It wants to come out. Somebody asked a question earlier about, aging, how I feel, if I feel old, and etc. The two things that I don't like about aging so far are having to wear reading glasses and being constipated more. Oh, and getting up to pee more at night, it's annoying too. Other than that, everything about aging has been good. I have a better life as I get older. Okay. Time to poop. Oh, yes. I see you. You are a kitty. Watch out. Okay. Oh. Be free, poops. Be free. Oh. That's much better. Oh no. I'm running out of toilet paper here, and there's not another roll in the toilet. And maybe just barely able to make it, but I'll probably have to go get. I've had a good number of wipes, but I'm not done wiping it. So I'm gonna have to go get more toilet paper and then come back to the toilet. Alright, well, let me go pee first. My pee is that weird yellow color that you get when you take B vitamins. Because I took a couple Maltese last night. I like to party with the multivitamins. I like to party with the Maltese, yo. Alright, now that I've urinated, let's go get more toilet paper from the garage. Okay, we're back. We're back and we're better than ever. We've got 2 new toilet papers. There's definitely going to be plenty of toilet paper for me to finish wiping my tender butthole. That's the title of my autobiography. My Tender Butthole. The book's mostly about me going poop. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Dialing for dollars, just trying to buy me. I'll wait for delivery each day until 3. So Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? I prefer to watch. Okay, I see you. Eat, go ahead. You don't need me to be right there to watch you eat every time I go into the kitchen. This cat is meowing at me again. I've already watched you eat. You could hear the powerful meows he has, though, right? You can see why it's hard for me to disobey him. He's got such plaintive meows. Okay, well, you can eat by yourself, okay? You don't need me to watch you eat. I don't want to watch you eat. Okay. He will just meow at me until I obey him. It's like he's relentless. What time is it? Almost 7. I think I need to. You want me to keep watching the cat? I should consider what toilet paper I put into septic tank. What toilet paper would you recommend? Oh, look, there's a super chat. Well, thanks, Born Star 481. I do notice you. I've been noticing you the whole time. In fact, I just, I just, I just didn't. I wasn't around the chat where I could see it with my glasses. You know. I recommend silk. What's silk? I mean, like as a cloth or a fabric or whatever? Well, you better change your clothes then, smart. Oh, silk toilet paper. It's a little pricey, I think. Hi, Elaine. Born star is Rodney Dangerfield. Hmm, interesting. I really think I probably need to go back to bed here. I'm pretty tired. Before I deal with the septic tank people at 10. But maybe not, you know. Maybe I'll just ride it out for a little while. I don't speak that language, but I do recognize the question mark and can tell that you're asking a question accordingly. I could Google it. Is that Japanese? That's Chinese. Okay. Does it say, Ni hao? Dui bu dui dui ah? Wadani? Is that what it says like? I look like your big toe. You've got a very interesting looking big toe. Yeah, you said that as well. Said that twice now before. So, a kind that breaks down. I don't look for anything in a man. A little bit of Chinese. I can say, Shui Chang Lu, Hong Chao Lu, to tell the cab drivers in Shanghai how to get to my house. Go to the corner of Shui Chang Lu and Hong Chao Lu. All right, off you go. No, I'm married to my third woman. Thanks, Born Star 481. I have so many talents. For that $1.99, I will display one of them to you and play a song for you. Elix Strauss. Strauss. Elix Strauss. Born Star A4, Born Star 481 did something very, very fine. They gave me $1.99. They gave not once, but they gave it twice, and that is making it 2 times as nice. Oh yeah. There. It's one of my talents, Born Star. And it's called Make Up a Random Song right now. I can do that. That's one of my talents. I'm not sure it's any value, but something I can do. Thanks, Emma Lee. Can I sing about worms? I can sing about worms, I suppose. Sure. This whole phenomenon right now is just mind blowing. Like all this, all these new people, all this action going on. It's amazing. I can't believe it. There are 53 people right here right now. Let's think about worms. Sure, I could say this, some song like this, you know, it would become a worm sounding song. WORMS. In the ground, a crawly mess. WORMY. Spells wormy, don't you know? And that's no lie at all. There you go. There's a song about worms. All right, let's go walk around the house. Let's go walk around the outside of the house. It's what I feel like doing. I'm going to get a fresh cup of coffee. Boba Fett, you need to do something that rhymes with bucket, okay? And it had nothing to do with fucking. You need to suck it. That's right. What do you need to do? Let's review. You need to suck it. You know what? Caroline told me the other day, out of the blue, randomly around here. She said, "You know what songs I like? I like No 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 and Pucker's Hard Lemon Squeeze." That's what she said. That's how she sounded when she said it. So, you know what? You can SUCKIT. Boba Fett. You can SUCKIT, and that's all there is to it. Because Maddie the Avocado Girl's here, and she ain't having it. All right? Deal with it. Good tune, but too powerful? Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze? All right. I will play Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze when I get back inside, okay? By Boba Fett's request. But first, we're going for a walk around the house. I will bring my glasses. I have them on my chest right here so I can read the chat. Oh, yes, we will be playing it, Boba Fett. Oh, yes, we will. Your reverse psychology has worked on me. Okay? You reverse psychology enough. I'm convinced. Fine. I will play Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze when I get back inside. First, we're going for a walk around the house. We have to patrol and make sure everything's as it should be. All right, we're going to begin our patrol over here. The other thing that's interesting is it's colder on this side of the house under the covered walkway than it is by the front door. By the front door is the warmest spot. I don't know how they managed to do that, but all right, let's evaluate this area first. This area I like to call the area where I need to clean up all these sticks and leaves. That's what I call it. In other words, I need to sweep. I need to sweep with a sweeper and a sweeping. All right, let's go evaluate a little further up the driveway here. As you see, look at all these sticks and leaves and stuff. Shame on you, Eric. Can't you sweep a driveway for God's sakes? It's not like you got anything better to do. And there are all these rocks here from when Acacia and Ruben were here and decided to play slingshot with rocks on the driveway. And shot all these rocks over here. Kick these rocks out of the way. Get out of here, rocks. You too. Get out of here. That's some progress with the rocks, at least. Okay. Well, I've kicked a few rocks. I hope that was entertaining for everybody. I'm sure it wasn't, but it needed to be kicked. Okay. If I let those rocks remain unkicked, I would have been remiss in my duties. We'll continue our walk shortly. Let me just look at the old chatteroo here. Where's is this? This is in Mariposa County. It is in New Yosemite. Up near Yosemite. All right, let's go around the back. You departed like 2 a.m. yesterday. When did people come put those orange lines? Was that the fire people who put those? Or did they do that Monday morning? I must have done it Monday morning, I guess. All right, let's examine the back. I don't see anything concerning. No Sasquatches. No nuclear bombs. Everything seems fine. I guess we'll need to put a few cutlets this morning. All right, let's go check over here. Oh, it's colder over here. Temperature changes depending on which side of the house I'm on. All right. Everything seems to be in order over here. Nobody stole my deck chairs. Nor my trash can. Nor my pile of sticks. All right. Well, it's been nice visiting over here. Now let's go back to the front. Go back inside the house because I am feeling a little chilly. We'll need to have a warming break inside before we put cutlets, I think. Next time I might even put on a jacket. Oh, good. The sound of the neighbors. Oh, that's my reflection. I'm like, who is this person? Is there somebody standing inside? It was me. It was just me the whole time. Okay. So we are going to now play Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze to either reward or punish Boba Fett for his shit talking. I wasn't planning on playing this morning, but since Boba Fett insists, I shall. well, he's pucker tart, lemon squeeze, the friendliest guy that you will see. Yes, he wants to be your friend, but he lives from around the bend, so it will be a while till he sees you again. He's pucker tart, lemon squeeze, he's a friend to you and me. He's international delight's favorite go-to right-hand guy. He's international like him and also busy like his friend Billy B. Billy the Bee and Billy the Beaver, and so much busier than Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze. Well, he's Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze. Shabba-da-da-da-ba-doo-da. Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze. Shabba-doo-ba-day. Yes, he's Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze. Shabba-doo-ba-da-ba-ba-doo-da. Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze. Shabba-doo-ba-day. And if you go to visit him for starts, remember to bring something sour or tart. He's not a fan of sugary treats, that's why he's pucker tart and not pucker sweet. Well, he's pucker tart, lemon squeeze, the friendliest guy that you will see. Yes, he wants to be your friend, but he comes from around the bend, so it will be a while till he sees you again. Pucker tart. I didn't play it very well. I messed up a couple of times. But I just wanted to make sure that Boba Fett earned what he has been trying to earn now for quite some time with his totally out of nowhere unsolicited shit talking. He's made it abundantly clear to me that he does not like that song. But he goes out of his way to shit talk it even when I'm not even playing any songs. So seems like a lot of treatments for cluster headaches are not widely medically approved. The next best treatment is mushrooms, LSD. Well, you should have taken some mushrooms while you were here. What were you thinking, bro? What were you thinking? All you had to say was, hey, Eric, let's take some mushrooms. I would have scheduled it at a time when you were available to take it with me, you know? Instead, I had lots of fun by myself on mushrooms. Shiitake is a type of mushrooms, not a type of noodles. All right. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Okay. Let's go to bed. Let's tell a bedtime story. And then let's try to take a little nap before I gotta meet the septic tank people. I'd like to be as rested as possible because there's a decent chance I'm gonna get my my Adderall today. If not, I'll definitely get it tomorrow. But accordingly, I want to be rested in case I do get it. I don't feel very rested. Even though I lost full night's sleep on Saturday, I didn't get more sleep than normal on either last night or the night before, which I should have. Let me just see who's here. There's a good number of people for me to do a bedtime story. It's not too many people. So we got Boba Fett, we got Ruben, we got Blue Elf's gonna take a nap. Winston's mom. Just got a small group of regulars here. Anybody else who mad scientist tuning? Okay, we got Boba Fett, Ruben, Blue Elvis. If he's still here, I don't know. And Winston's mom. Boba Fett, Ruben, Winston's mom, Blue Elvis, and mad scientist. Just go with those ones. Boba Fett and money, of course. We're telling a bedtime story. It's got money, Blue Elvis, Winston's mom, Boba Fett, and mad scientist in it. This story, okay? Money, Winston's mom, Boba Fett, Blue Elvis, and mad scientist. Those people are in this story in an important way. And Simple Girl. And Simple Girl, of course, is going to be in this story too. Simple Girl, Boba Fett, Winston's mom, mad scientist, Blue Elvis, Simple Girl, and Money. Money and Simple Girl. Blue Elvis, mad scientist. Okay, here we go. I'm going to lie down, get myself cozy for a bedtime story. It's dark, so you can't see the fact that I'm just wearing bun huggers right now. That'd be far too revealing a shot for the light of day. Anyhow, so once upon a time, that's how all stories should begin. Once upon a time, Winston's mom, who has past military connections and, is secretly still kind of a secret agent for America, she learned of a North Korean plot to release some bioweapons. They were not very good bioweapons. They were really just tapeworms that had been genetically engineered to be twice as effective as regular tapeworms. But anyway, the U.S. government thought it was sufficiently a threat to the population that they put Winston's mom on the case. And they said, you need to put together your crack team of operatives and solve this problem, Winston's mom. And so she said, fine. I'll select Boba Fett as one of my people because we need somebody who can't tell whether the song Parker Tart Lemon Squeeze is good or not on the team. And I select Simple Girl because she knows about horses and farming and stuff. And I select Money because he's doing important new work in the field of evolution. And I select Mad Scientist because we'll already have a sane scientist on the team, okay? And that sane scientist will be Blue Elvis. And so she called them all up, and most of them said, nah. But then Men in Black showed up at their door and forcibly brought them to Winston's mom. So they're like, okay, I guess we gotta do this. And they said, what's the plan, Winston's mom? And Winston's mom said, well, first we're gonna get on an aircraft carrier. It's gonna take us near North Korea. Then from that aircraft carrier, we're gonna get on an Apache attack helicopter, and it's gonna fly us over North Korea, and we're gonna parachute into North Korea, and then we'll be near the bioweapons factory, and we'll go in there, heavily armed, of course. We'll just shoot our way in. We'll steal the genetically engineered tapeworms and bring them back to the United States for testing and study. And Simple Girl raises her hand, and Winston's mom says, yes. And Simple Girl says, is this a good plan, really? And Winston's mom says, yes. And then Money says, okay, but won't this start a hot war between the U.S. and North Korea? And Winston's mom says, listen, I didn't want to have to tell you this, but this is a false flag operation, okay? We're going to be dressed as Russian soldiers, which means I need all of you to learn at least a spattering of Russian. You say, Strasvi, which means thank you. Everybody's trying to practice saying it. But Boba Fett said, tried saying it multiple times, like strawberry, strawberry. He couldn't say it, you know. And she said, "Well, obviously, it's because you need to listen to Parker Tart Lemon Squeeze more." So she had Boba Fett sit in the room and listen to Parker Tart Lemon Squeeze like 100 times in a row. And then finally he came out and he was able to pronounce the word because he had learned so much. Anyway, mad scientists said, okay, so we're going in as Russians, but are the North Koreans really going to believe that the Russians are attacking their tapeworm facility? And Winston's mom said, good question. Yes, they are. And I'll tell you why. Because we've already planted a backstory that the Russians are desperate for advanced tapeworm technology. And so Blue Elvis said, listen, I'm the sane scientist here, and none of this makes any sense to me. What's really going on, Winston's mom? And Winston's mom sighed, and she took a big sigh. And she said, okay, fine, I'll tell you. The North Koreans have kidnapped Kate Middleton and are holding her hostage in North Korea. And everyone said, what? And she said, hold on. Don't even get shocked yet. I haven't told you the worst part. What could be worse than that? Said Boba Fett. And Simple Girl, she's already sobbing. Oh no, Kate Middleton. Whatever will they do to her? And Blue Elvis is looking really tense. Mad Scientist is looking very concerned, you know. Money, though, doesn't look that concerned. He says, why are we intervening to save a British royal from the North Koreans? And his mom said, well, I haven't told you the worst part yet. He said, well, what is the worst part? She said, they've also kidnapped Taylor Swift. And obviously, everybody at that point just panics. They start running around the room, throwing chairs, everything. Everyone's like, oh no, God, no, not Taylor Swift, not America's sweetheart. And Mrs. Mom said, yes, I'm afraid so. And they started just grabbing guns from the walls because there were a lot of guns on the walls. Everybody did. Money, Mad Scientist, Simple Girl, Boba Fett, Blue Elvis. They all started grabbing guns. And Winston's mom says, hold on. We need to do this smart. We can't just run off half-cocked, okay? Listen to the rest of the plan. And they said, but your plan that you originally told us was about a tapeworm facility. She said, that was just a cover story. Now listen to the real plan, okay? The real plan is the same as the other plan, except instead of a tapeworm facility, it's a Taylor Swift, Kate Middleton detention block. And I said, okay, well, that makes more sense now. So they had to wait 36 hours for the airplane, the aircraft carrier to get to the dock where they got on the boat onto. And so during that 36 hours, obviously it was very tense. Everyone was worried about Taylor Swift. There were a lot of questions about Travis Kelce. Like, is he okay? Does he know what's going on? And Winston's mom explained Travis Kelce does not know what's going on. He's currently being distracted by a crack team of CIA operatives in a pretend dating show that's never even going to air just to keep him away from Taylor Swift. He's a judge on the dating show, you know. Anyway, that's one of our jobs here as this crack team is to keep Travis Kelce in the dark about this. And we need to do that by recovering Taylor Swift before she's even aware she's been kidnapped.
we're operating under the assumption now that she's been knocked out with chloroform. So 36 hours passed though, and then at this point, everyone's like, she's got to be awake by now, and nobody knew quite what to do with it about that. And you know, Money pointed out, well, even if she we go rescue her, she's probably going to tell Travis Kelsey about her experience after she gets back. And Winston's mom says, well, the government's not going to be okay with that. This whole matter is classified. She's going to have to keep her mouth shut or she's going to go to prison. And so everyone thought about that for a while. And they said, well, why is it have to be a secret after we rescue them? And Winston's mom said, shh, that's a secret too. So finally, they got on the aircraft carrier, and Simple Girl said, hold on, everybody. Don't forget these, because she had packed a lunch for everybody. And Money's like, oh my God, that is so nice of you. You packed a lunch for all of us? And she said, yep. Hope you like tuna fish and peanut butter. And someone's like, you mean someone's got PB and J and someone's got tuna? She's like, no, I believe in mixing peanut butter and tuna together. So everyone's like, ew, I don't want these sandwiches. And they threw it on the ground. Anyway, then they got on the boat. And as they're getting on the boat, the Navy guy said, you can't bring these sack lunches on here. And they took the rest of the sack lunches from everybody and they threw them on the ground. Anyway, then the boat starts sailing away towards North Korea. And they said, well, what are we going to do while we're riding on the boat? And Mad Scientist says, all right, everybody, it's time for you to get your asses whooped. They're like, what? What are you talking about? And he's saying, I'm talking about SHUFFLEBOARD shuffleboard. And so, sure enough, there were a big shuffleboard thing on deck of the aircraft carrier. So they went and played shuffleboard. And true to his word, Mad Scientist was an amazing shuffleboard player. And he won every single game. Money accused him of cheating at one point, but Simple Girl said, listen, I know you're frustrated, Money. There's no reason to accuse him of cheating. And Boba Fett said, I think he might be cheating too. He's probably involved in some kind of cheating conspiracy. And Mad Scientist said, how could I cheat at shuffleboard? And Winston's mom suggested, well, maybe after you push it with your pusher, you run super fast over there and move it and back before we notice. And, Mad Scientist said, I don't. And Money says, no, nobody can run that fast. And Simple Girl says, exactly. He's not cheating everybody. So everybody paid their gambling debts to him because they'd all bet money that they could beat Mad Scientist for some reason. And Mad Scientist walked away with a cool $700 in his pocket. Anyway, pretty soon they got near North Korea and they got all onto an an Apache attack helicopter. And they all put on parachutes. And Simple Girl said, Winston's mom, I've never parachuted before. And Boba Fett said, me neither. Money said, me neither. Mad Scientist said, me neither. Blue Elvis said, me neither. And she said, it's fine. It's as easy as falling out of a plane. And so when they got over Pyongyang, at the outskirts of it, because that's where the detention block was, they said, all right. And Winston's mom pushed him out of the helicopter one at a time. Get out of here, you, she said. And she pushed Simple Girl out. And Simple Girl says, where's the thing I pull? And she gropes around her parachute until finally she feels this cord and she pulls it, but it was the wrong cord. And instead of a parachute coming out, an anvil comes out of her parachute bag. She's like, oh no, that was the wrong cord. Fortunately, the anvil's heavier than her, so it falls faster than her to the ground. And then she pulls another cord. This time, instead of a parachute, it's a piano that comes out. She, oh no, that was the wrong cord too. But similarly to the anvil, because the piano's heavier, it falls faster than her to the ground. And finally, she pulls her third cord, and the parachute comes out. But she was a little bit too low to the ground. And so when she lands, she sprains her ankle in classic fashion. Now, the rest of the team all parachutes down successfully because their parachutes all just had parachutes in them. They didn't include any anvils or pianos. But of note, the piano actually fell quite close to where they all landed, and it actually landed on its four legs unharmed. So as soon as they all parachuted down, mad scientist went over and started playing a fun ragtime tune on the piano. Like that. And then Blue Elvis said, hey, I like that tune. Did you make that up? And Mad Scientist said, no, it's actually a song called Russ and Steven that Eric wrote. And Blue Elvis was like, oh, I like it. It's good. He's like, I know. Russ and Steven, delight in delivering cheese every day. And then some girl's like, hey, I sprained my ankle over here. Isn't anybody going to help me? And why did my parachute have an anvil and a piano in it? And Winston's mom says, listen, that's standard operating procedure for Navy parachute launches. At least one team member on every parachute team must have a piano anvil, or both in this case. It's randomly assigned. You just happen to get that one. And she's like, well, then how was I even able to put it on my back? But it didn't feel that heavy. And she said, well, that's because the angle of the attack helicopter flying made it such that there was a weightlessness effect. So you couldn't feel the weight of either the piano or the anvil. And at this point, Boba Fett's playing with the anvil, trying to pick it up, but he's far too weak because it's a very heavy anvil. And so Blue Elvis goes over and tries to help him pick it up. And Winston's mom says, you guys need to stop playing around. We're on a mission. I'm here to pick up anvils. And Simple Girl says, plus, my ankle is sprained. And Mad Scientist says, stop playing the piano, and says, well, we're just going to have to leave you behind then. And Winston's mom says, no, that's not how it works in the military, you guys. We don't leave anybody behind, even if they're injured. And Simple Girl says, I mean, I'm only going to be able to walk right now, probably at like 80%. This ankle is slightly sprained. I said, well, fine. Does anybody have any one of those ace bandages? And Boba Fett says, yeah, I got one. I always carry an ace bandage in my pocket, of course. And everyone was kind of surprised by that. And he says, no, that's normal in India. People always carry ace bandages around. And he busted one out. And then they used that and they wrapped Simple Girl's ankle, which was good for her. She was better able to walk on it. They said, all right, let's go now, team. So they took off their parachutes and they hid them behind a bush. And then they got out their guns and they said, all right, Winston's mom, which direction is the detention bunker? And she pointed to what appeared to be just a pile of like boulders and sticks and stuff. And they said, that's just some boulders and sticks. And Winston's mom said, no, look more closely. And then Simple Girl hobbled over there and Money was with her. And Money examined the boulder, and he's like, hold on a second. And then he pushed this one spot on the boulder, and it started sliding away because it was actually a secret door. And as soon as it started sliding away, he heard some from inside. It was North Korean soldiers. They came rushing out. Simple Girl took out her AK-47 and mowed them down. Until Winston's mom said, stop, they're dead, they're dead. Remember, controlled bursts, Simple Girl, controlled bursts. And Money, he was shaking and blood all over his face from the North Koreans being blown away right in front of him. And he said, I don't think I can do this. And Blue Elvis came over and put his hand on his shoulder and said, easy, son, easy. We're going to get this mission done. And Money said, okay, okay. And shaky fingers, he put a cigarette to his lips. He literally says, I don't normally smoke, but he said, it's okay. Smoke your cigarette. It's fine. He calmed down, stopped having a panic attack. Mad Scientist wandered over finally. He had gone back to playing the piano. He's like, what's going on, you guys? Oh my God. When did these dead people get here? And they're like, Simple Girl killed them. She had to. They were rushing at us with knives. So they walked into the detention area. It was a dark, long hallway. It was like a dungeon almost. But there wasn't any cells on the sides yet. They just had a long hallway to walk down. And Winston's mom said, okay, everybody, put on your night vision goggles. And Boba Fett's like, I don't have any night vision goggles. And Money turns to him and rolls his eyes and says, Boba Fett, she told us right before we got off onto the helicopter, make sure you have your night vision goggles. I have mine. Mad Scientist is like, I have mine. Silver Girl's like, yeah, I got mine. Blue Elvis like, I have mine. And Boba Fett's like, well, I thought she said, don't forget to fight Mission Boggle. I figured maybe we'd be playing Boggle. And everyone put their hands on their hips and said, Boba Fett. Anyway, the rest of them put on their night vision goggles, and Boba Fett held on to the pants of Blue Elvis, one of the pant loops, so he wouldn't get lost. Anyway, they finally made their way down to the end of this long hallway, and there was a staircase at the end. But they could see with their night vision goggles as they approached that there were two North Korean guards huddled by the entrance with guns, waiting to shoot anybody who might come their way because they had heard the gunfire from outside, you know. So Winston's mom made one of these down, down, down motions with her hand and held up two fingers and like 12 o'clock, you know. And the team all got down on all fours except for Boba Fett, who said, what's going on? And he alerted, accordingly, the North Koreans because he didn't have night vision goggles. He couldn't see the hand gestures, you know. And the North Koreans pop up and start shooting. Fortunately, everybody but Boba Fett is lying on the ground. So, you know, Money lines up a clean shot with a sniper rifle that he has. He's too close to be using a sniper rifle, but he uses it anyway and blows the head off one of the North Koreans. And then Blue Elvis, he's got a revolver that he brought, 6-shooter, old-fashioned Western-style revolver, but nevertheless quite accurate with it. He fires one shot, hits the North Korean in the stomach. He crumples over. He fires a second shot, hits him somewhere around the neck, and sees a big spurt of blood from the aorta. He says, well, that's one down, like that. And Mad Scientist says, quit talking tough. You're not a cowboy, Blue Elvis. And Winston's mom says, all of you, shut up. We're on a mission here. And everyone's like looking chagrined. So they walk down the stairs very quietly. And then they see the first cells of this cell block. And as they walk by the first cell, Blue Elvis peers in and he's like, oh my God, Matthew Perry? And he's like, oh, Americans, you gotta get me out of here. I'm Matthew Perry. I was on Friends. You know, I played Chandler. And Matt Sides is like, yeah, we know who you are, dude. I thought you died in a hot tub. And he's like, no, I don't know. What are you talking about? The North Koreans kidnapped me. I've been in here now for like 6 months. And Fet's like, I don't think it's really been 6 months, has it? And Simple Girl's like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's been 6 months. And Matthew Perry's like, I don't care how long it's been. Can you please get me out of here? And Winston's mom's like, shakes her head no, looks at the team, says, no, we can't do it, guys. It's off mission. I'm not having any mission creep on my watch. So they walk down the hall and they say, sorry, Matthew Perry. He's like, please save me. And Money goes back and says, shut up. We already told you no. No means no, okay? And then he rejoins the group. So they keep walking down this hall and finally come to another cell on the right. And there's this very old, not very old, but quite old, 70-ish or so, maybe 68-year-old looking woman. And, remnants of blonde hair. And that scientist says, you look familiar. And the lady's like, oh dear Lord, is it English speaker? Can you get me out of here, please? And Winston's mom says, wait a second. I think I recognize you too. But it's Money who identifies her. He says, you're Princess Diana. She said, yes, former Princess Diana. Please get me out of here. And Mrs. Mom has to shake her head again. No, I cannot get you out of here. That would be mission creep. So they keep walking, and finally they find Kate Middleton. And she says, oh dear Lord, I've not had a cup of tea in months. Please get me out of here. I said, we can get out. So Winston's mom breaks out a skeleton key. She's had it the whole time. And, Mad Scientist says, how do you know that key is going to fit in that door? And she says, it's a skeleton key. It works on any door. So they open the door and the cell door, and out walks Kate Middleton. And the North Koreans have her currently wearing this really ugly muumuu. It's supposed to be like Hawaiian print, but it's a North Korean made knockoff. And Simple Girl says, I'm sorry, I am not continuing the mission with you dressed like that. And Kate Middleton says, thank you very much. I do hope you brought some change of clothes. I feel exactly the same about this. And Simple Girl pulls out a smart outfit that she got. Well, the top's from Abercrombie and Fitch, and the dress is free people. But anyway, and she also brought a pair of pumps because the North Koreans have her wearing high heels in jail as part of their torture plan. I cannot wait to get out of these heels. So finally, they get Kate Middleton dressed normally again. And all the guys have to turn around as she changes clothes, of course, because she's such a princess. Anyway, then they start moving on. They get to the next cell, and they hear as they're walking down the hallway, they hear, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. You gave me cats. And sure enough, it was Taylor Swift. She was singing her song there in the cell and was crocheting something. And they said, finally, we found you, Taylor Swift. Get out of there. Come on, let's go. She said, what are you talking about? I'm not leaving. I said, what do you mean? What are you crocheting? And she showed them and it was a North Korean flag. She had Stockholm syndrome. She had begun to identify with her North Korean captors already. So Simple Girl walks right into the cell and slaps her in the face and says, "Get yourself together, Taylor Swift. You're America's sweetheart. America's imperialist swine," she says. And then Money goes in and slaps her and says, "Get yourself together, Taylor Swift. You're America's sweetheart." And she says, "Sweethearts are just American propaganda." And then Mad Scientist walks in and he slaps her across the face and says, "Taylor Swift, get yourself together. You're America's sweetheart." Finally, Taylor Swift snaps back into action. Oh my God, what happened? I was brainwashed there for a minute. Where's my boyfriend, Travis Kelce? And Winston's mom says, "Miss Swift, the American government has sent us to rescue you and bring you back to your boyfriend, Travis Kelce. Come on, get out of here. Let's go." And she says, "Okay, but I sprained my ankle. You'll have to leave me behind." And Blue Elvis says, "None of that. I'm not hearing any of that, Taylor Swift. Come on, hop on." And he shows her like he'll give her a piggyback ride. And so she hops onto his back, and Boba Fett's like, "Your ankle doesn't look sprained to me." She's like, "Shut up! I spent the last month or two here in North Korean prison. So just shut up. If I want a piggyback ride, it's my prerogative." And Boba Fett feels ashamed of himself. Anyway, so then they all start walking back out of this prison. But by this time, more North Koreans have shown up. When they get to the exit, there's a whole platoon of them outside. And they're gonna, but Winston's mom, she smells them before they get too close. She does more hand signals. Everyone gets all quiet and gets down, except, of course, Boba Fett again, because he doesn't have his night goggles. So, once again, he's like, "What's going on, everybody?" And the North Koreans start shooting. This time, two of their bullets tear into Boba Fett's arms. First, his left arm is rendered useless. Then his right arm. He says, "Ow! Ow!" And that mad scientist says, "Quit whining like a little bitch, Boba Fett." And he stands up and he takes out two AK-7s, one in each arm. And he runs towards the exit, firing wildly with both guns. Ah! And when he gets outside, he discovers he slaughtered the entire platoon of North Koreans, all of whom were armed with malfunctioning 22 rifles. So then they get back on the helicopter. It comes back, it lands, they get on it, and Boba Fett says, "Why couldn't you have just landed in the first place?" They said, "You can only land when you're picking people up." Boba Fett's like, "My arms don't work." And they said, "Well, that's what you get for shitting on Pucker Tart Lemon Squeeze." Then they flew home and everyone was happy. The end. Okay, well, that's going to do it for Bedtime Story. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night and good luck.